singing Romney's praises? Former SBA Chief Hector Barreto. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks, John. Good to be with you.
So let's talk. I want to remind you of a quote you may have seen, you may not, during the 2010 U.S. Senate race. Harry Reid said he just, I'm paraphrasing, cannot imagine why any Hispanic would be a Republican. You're familiar with that?
I'm very familiar with that. And it's an insult. I mean, tell that to Marco Rubio or Susana Martinez or all the congressmen that we have or Brian Sandoval of this great state. It's crazy. I mean,
why are you a Republican as a Hispanic?
I've been a Republican for a long time because the Republican Party shares the values that my family does and that my community does. We're very independent, we're very conservative, we're very entrepreneurial, and the Republican Party speaks to all of us.
But the Hispanic community is not listening, at least as it comes to many important races. I mentioned that Senate race. You know that Harry Reid won Hispanics by 30, 40 points. Barack Obama won Hispanics in 2008 here in Nevada by 50 points. He's leading Mitt Romney by 35 points or so. If you're smart enough to understand you should be with the Republican Party, what's wrong with the rest of the Hispanic community?
Well, first of all, you need to understand is it depends on the candidate, it depends on the race, it depends on what the issues are. You know, I used to work for President Bush. They said that about President Bush in 2000. He got 35% of the vote, which was 70% higher than we got in 96. He got 44% of the vote in 2004. So it depends. We're doing better with the Hispanic vote since the convention that we just had in Tampa. We had a great convention, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Let's talk about that huge bump. Well, you know, Mitt Romney didn't get much of a bump from that convention, but he did get a little bump among Latino voters.
Yes, he did.
While this is from Politico. While Romney made some gains following the RNC, the gains are relatively small. After their best week of coverage, which Romney and the RNC got to dictate the message, and President Obama struggled for coverage, Romney still maintains a net negative favorability rating of -23, while the president enjoys a net positive favorability rating of +43.
Look, one of the things that you know and you cover is voter enthusiasm is going to be down for President Obama. And there's an opportunity for us to be able to bring some of those votes over to us, especially in key swing states like Nevada, like Florida, like Colorado. I was just in Florida yesterday. I was in Colorado yesterday. And so we think that we have a really good opportunity. And look, a lot more Latinos are going to be paying attention now. After the conventions, these debates are going to be important. And we're going to work very hard, spend a lot of resources, a lot of time, and take no vote for granted. And that's one of the reasons I think that what you're seeing in the Democratic Convention. They're struggling right now to make sure that they not only remind their base, but try to get some of those independent voters really on the fence right now.
There's no question you're right about that, sir. But if Hispanic voters watching Marco Rubio, who gave easily the best speech of that convention, in my opinion, just a fantastic speech, maybe the best speech of either convention, although Michelle Obama's was pretty good. If they're not going to come flocking to you guys after listening to Marco Rubio, they ain't coming.
I disagree with that. Look, there are 3 million Hispanic businesses in the United States. That's the fastest growing segment of small business in the United States. Those numbers could double every 5 years if we have the right environment. But those businesses are struggling right now under this administration. There's less business formation than there has been in the last 30 years. We have the weakest economic recovery since the Depression. And those businesses are looking for solutions. They're looking for something different. And what they see is an experienced leader in Romney, somebody that's been there and done that. Somebody that doesn't make promises that they break like we've seen under this administration.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want you to give me an honest answer to the question of how well you really think Romney can do. What's the gap going to be in November? You're going to make a prediction right here, and we're going to have it right on tape. We'll be back with the former head of the Small Business Administration. Bill Clinton is speaking right now. He's sure lucky that I'm taping now and I'm not up straight against him, because nobody in Nevada will be watching him. They'll be watching what? Face to face. Welcome back across Nevada to Face to Face as we're taping this on the night of the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte. Bill Clinton is speaking to the faithful. But we're talking about the other side. Hispanics are cheering on Bill Clinton in that arena, but will enough of them vote for Mitt Romney to get him over the top? A group called Juntos con Romney was campaigning here in Las Vegas today, and Hector Barreto, who's the former head of the Small Business Administration, is joining us. One of the pitches I've heard from Republicans who've been on this program, Republican Hispanics don't just care about immigration. They care about what everybody else cares about, right? They wake up in the morning, they want to know what the economy is going to get better, who's going to get them a job. And so you guys are hoping that Hispanics won't be as enthusiastic as you mentioned. But no polling I've seen shows that Romney has made any kind of incursion into those terrible numbers.
John, there was a poll out today by Media, which is a company that owns the largest Spanish language newspaper. They're not necessarily Republicans, who said that Hispanics are going to Romney more than ever before, over 30%. When they polled those same group, they said 40% said they really liked what they saw in the convention last week. But you're absolutely right. The economy is the number one issue. Where are the jobs going to come from? How are we going to educate our kids? What are the opportunities in the future? And what they know is what they've had over the last 4 years hasn't worked. They're not better off than they were 4 years ago. They're not even closer to that. More Hispanics are living in poverty. More Hispanics are losing their homes. More Hispanics are having troubles in their businesses. And they're looking for a proven leader. That's what Mitt Romney is.
But they're hearing that guy. They're hearing this guy say, "Oh, self-deportation. I'm going to veto the DREAM Act." What's in it for them? What's Mitt Romney saying that they're going to like to hear?
Here's what they're saying is they're listening to a serious leader, somebody that is actually going to do what he says he's going to do. Unlike President Obama, who promised the Hispanic community that job number one of his first priorities was going to do immigration reform in his first year. And when he had control of Congress, when he could have done anything he wanted to, he did nothing. We're 4 years into this, and Obama made a promise to the Hispanic community that he didn't keep. He didn't just promise immigration reform. He promised more jobs, more opportunities, a better educational system. None of those things came true, and that's why people are looking for a different alternative.
I hate to ask you this, but do you think, and bring up bad memories, but do you think you're a bit of a flawed messenger on this issue, considering you had to leave the SBA after all the problems with providing assistance to the terror victims and Katrina? Are you a flawed?
John, you don't do your homework. I'm the second longest serving SBA administrator in history.
Is anything I just said not true?
Absolutely.
What's that?
I didn't leave the SBA because of any problems with Katrina or anything of that nature. I'm the second longest serving SBA administrator in history. I broke every record. I wish that the Obama administration had the record that we did on loans, on training, on contracts, and those are the things that are important to those small businesses.
I did my homework on knowing how much time I have left, sir. I really appreciate
John, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Now, in the next face-to-face, they've been warmed up by the First Lady and Bill Clinton. Now, the delegates in Charlotte are ready for the